are chirping. A ka, 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 ka.
So, there was a question, so they're coming on Zoom. I'm going to kind of repeat what was said in the room here. There was a question on class next week and when you don't have class and all that fun stuff. So, a couple things I want to talk about, we'll start with that and then we'll go into the assignment stuff. So, next week is the actual official last week of this class. So, based on that, at this point, unless something changes between now and then, at this point, the next Monday and Wednesday you'll have class. Wednesday is the final presentation and you're in class. I know, I'll talk to you after that. Next Wednesday in class or whether you're on Zoom. I have heard from some of you already that next week poses a challenge for you. And so if you are not planning to be there on Wednesday, you need to communicate with me ahead of time and we'll identify another time that works for you through the week that we can have you present to me, okay? So otherwise, be prepared for 2 minutes, and 2 minutes can be a long time if you're not prepared, and 2 minutes can go really super fast if you are. And so it's not a long time to talk, but what I do want to make sure you know is I want you to practice so you can fill 2 minutes, because if you are just talking and don't know your stuff, 2 minutes is a long time to just talk. And just so you know, if you've ever heard of Toastmasters, have any of you ever heard of Toastmasters? Yeah? You said yeah? It's like an adult club, if you will, that focuses solely on presentations and solely on helping you speak and how to craft your speech and such. And so even just you guys here in class, there are adult professionals out there that say, you know what, I give a lot of presentations for my work and I want to improve and do the best that I can. And when they have you, when Toastmasters has you practice your speeches, you practice for 2 minutes, because that way can give you enough to give like your beginning, your middle, your ending. You have a strong beginning, your middle, your ending, and wrap it up with a nice little bow. It's not uncommon if you have to give a presentation at work. Not like a long presentation. A long presentation you could have 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but if you have like an overview, someone might say, can you give me 2 minutes or 3 minutes? And so I want you to feel what that feels like, both in filling the content, not just like with but really what are some of the things that you thought about for your business. The other side to that, though, is because it is the last day of class, we can't finish the next class, like next week. I'll be really, really strict on watching the time. So if you are going over 2 minutes, I'm going to stop you because we have to go on to the next person. So try to give some really good thoughts to your questions that you're choosing. You have some flexibility on the questions you're choosing. So I did that purposely so you could pick the one, maybe one person this question speaks to more than this. And so I did that purposely so you can have some say in what you want to share, but then give some thought to really making that a packed 2 minutes of what you want to share about your business. There was a question last week about the visual, a PowerPoint or anything like that. Sometimes in my assignments I do make visuals required. In this particular one I did not, and so what is optional. You can use that 2 minutes however you'd like. If you want to have a visual, a PowerPoint, just an overview of something to share, great. If you are using a visual, please make sure you attach that with your presentation as well in the system, so when I'm grading and that kind of stuff. That presentation piece is a part of your grade. So if you don't present for that portion of it, you will not get any credit. Again, if you're not going to be there and you let me know ahead of time, we can set up a different time to have you present to me, or what that might look like differently if we need to do something different, okay? Any questions on that at this point? Okay, then there was a question as far as for next week on the final exam. At this point, my intention is to still have class Monday and Wednesday, and yes, the final exam will be open next week. I still will get you this quiz this week so you can practice on that. You'll see right away where you come in at. I've actually been looking in at the exam, and so I think if you're perusing your stuff, you should be okay, but please know that it is going to be a lot of the situational based type things, like if this is what's occurring, what might this be an example of type thing. What I'm going to try and do is choose 1 or 2 questions that are actually on the exam to include in the quiz, so that way you can actually see, not all of them, but a couple of them. That will open next Monday. You can take that at your, actually it opens this Friday, doesn't it?
I think so, yes.
The 5th, yeah, so it opens on the 5th, so we'll open this Friday. You have until the 13th to get it in. So what I would encourage you to do is plan to take that. You won't have homework next week. I would encourage you to do some of your final exam this week, or your final paper this week, so you don't leave all of it for next week. And then next week, the only thing that you'll have outside of class is that exam. Okay, and so you want to look at when's the best time for you to be able to take that. The other thing I will say on the, I was gonna say something else on the paper. I guess we'll come back and I'll share with you that. And then as far as when you have class and when you don't. So after next Wednesday, you're done with class. The following week, you will not have any class. That's what we consider our fall break. If you are planning to upload for the extra credit that you have registered, I believe I gave you through today to do that. So if you, there's a thing in the, I believe I have it in the grades published for extra credit. If you can upload anything, a screenshot, anything that just shows, upload a screenshot of an email, or upload anything that you can that shows me that you registered. I just wanted to use it as an, kind of like an example, as a bonus to encourage you guys to register and not wait till last minute. Hopefully you're already registered, but if not, if you can do that today and you want to upload that, you can get extra credit for that. Easy way to get extra credit. So you have the week off, and then when you come back, most of you, I didn't look to see if it's every one of you, but it's a good portion of you, are actually scheduled for principals and management during this time frame. And so that will start the Monday and Wednesday when we come back from break. It's a good portion of the same of you in this class that went from Business 101 to Business 105. You're gonna find in Intro to Business, you're gonna find there's a lot of overlap, lots of similarities, maybe some things that we talk about but take it a little bit deeper in 105, and then also Principles in Management, and then also you'll have 201 as well. That will take this one deeper as well. That one you won't have next semester. But so anyway, so you have you'll start hearing in some of your business classes, even the ones that you have beyond me, you'll start hearing some of these same topics that we've been talking about. You'll expand on them a little bit more. You'll take them a little bit further. You might see a little bit more how they're connected. Any questions on any of that? If you are taking the Principles in Management next course, the 105, I'm actually your instructor for this Monday and Wednesday. So you'll see me when you come back, but we'll be shifting a little bit. And some of the stuff we'll just be taking a little bit further, but we'll be actually in a different class. Okay?
What do you mean by different class? Like different classroom?
I don't hear you, I'm
think
sorry.
it's the same classroom.
Oh, you're in the same classroom, and a lot of the people will be the same, but in our mindset, we're gonna be talking about, like, the course content we're gonna be talking about is the Principles of Management and not the Intro to Business.
Okay.
I'm teaching a Principles of Management this course, this semester, like why we're doing this, there's a lot of similarity, just maybe a little bit more focus on the impact of the people.
Okay.
Okay. I know what I was gonna say before on the final, if, you do have to upload the written portion. Your presentation on your final is next Wednesday, unless we have agreed to something else. Your written portion, if you can have it in by Wednesday, great, but I'm gonna put on there, did I put a deadline already?
For the final paper? I think so, yes.
October
I didn't,
9th.
But I think I gave you till like the evening. I'll double check, like what I was getting at is if you don't have it ready for class, you can still present without that final paper, but you still need to get that final paper in. Okay?
The due date's October 9th at 11:59 for the
Okay, so
final
what I
class
said was,
paper.
what I would figure there is if you don't have it done by Wednesday class, you can still finish it by Wednesday night. Just keep in mind though that you have to self-go on and take that final and allow your, I think I put 300 points on the final, so
Yeah.
it's a big point value, and so I don't want it to be the kind of thing where you're just doing a paragraph. I also, what I think I shared with you when we did the first assignment of researching your businesses, some of you shared whatever you shared in front of class, but then when you wrote like a very extensive paper for me, which was amazing for me to see that you're learning, but part of what